Right guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, as promised, this is going to be a review of the 1250GS Adventure. This is my new long-term loan bike, so I've got this for the next 5 months or so. I'm going to give you an initial first week review. I've had it about 2 weeks now, and I'm going to quickly show you around a few of the things on this bike. I'll talk about the costs. Luggage options are something that I've discovered, and what's going on. So if that interests you, stick around. I'll catch you after the intro. Okay, I'm rolling. So this bike is a 2024 plate GSA. That stands for GS Adventure. It's the Adventure series of the 1250GS. This is in the GS Trophy colours. You can obviously get 3 other colour options. I think there's a Rally, a Triple Black, and one other, which I can't remember exactly what it is. But yeah, there's 4 colour options. This one has a few options on it. It's got a pillion package, it's got comfort pack, it has a touring pack, and also has dynamic pack. Additionally to that, it has golden wheels, which I love. The golden wheels are like my favourite thing on this bike, I think. Those packages bring a few things into the mix. They add on stuff like, I believe, these lights, these handguards, heated grips, the pillion package, different seat, comfier seat. It's quite high. We'll talk about that in a sec. Chrome plated exhaust, which I don't really like, if I'm honest with you, but you know, it is what it is. This aluminium pannier rail and also top box fitment, which obviously fits BMW's top box setup. It also includes a centre stand. There's probably other stuff that I'm probably forgetting. It's obviously a 1254cc flat engine, so the boxer engine. It's got a drive shaft, no chain on this thing, as people are probably quite aware by now of the GS. I love the boxer engine. It's one of my favourite engines on a motorcycle, especially for touring and just relaxed riding. This definitely wins it for me. Up here we've got BMW Connected Drive, where you put the sat nav in here. This adjustable windscreen is part of a package. I believe it's the pillion pack or touring pack. I can't remember which one exactly, but you can adjust it by simply twisting this knob. This is actually a really good height. It could do with being this high, but it's great. It's like nice and silent when you're riding. The wind is completely, gets rid of all the buffing around you, which is really nice. The size of this bike is rather large. It can be quite daunting. Like for me, I found this like a daunting size for a motorcycle. The seat is actually quite high for someone like me. I'm 5'10" with a 32-inch leg, so I'm sort of like, I'm not on tippy toes, but I'm not far off. So there is a trick you can do with this seat, and I'll show you it now, which does actually help the height. Trick is simple, really. It obviously has electronic suspension, this front and rear, and you can lower the ride height with that. But if that isn't enough, if you put the key in and then put it to the left, take this off, and then you've got these 2 brackets. You've got this bracket here and you've got this bracket here. Now if you see here, it says L for low. If you move it over here, it goes to H for high, adds height to the rear of the seat. This is the same. If you put this tab in here and then twist it around, H for high. See, it says H, and that adds another inch to the seat height. So for me, I've got it on low, I've got the suspension adjusted to low, and it's pretty much about the right size now, which is good. Another couple of things I should mention is there's a couple of power outlets on this bike. There's one here, power outlet there, and there's also a power outlet here for USB under there. Okay, I think the next thing to do is get on and ride it. Ready? Let's go. Okay, we're 2 up today. So I parked on uneven ground. Cool, let's go. Being the boxer engine, it's super easy to sort of ride low speed, should I say. So smooth. It does have a quick shifter up and down, but I find myself not really using it first to third because it's quite jerky. Check my GoPro's still working. Got no audio from the first review I did of this bike, so I had 20 minutes of footage, which was basically wasted. But yeah, the BMW TFT dash, really nice, same standard layout as all BMWs. It's worth mentioning the suspension. You can't adjust it whilst moving, you have to adjust it whilst on the stop. With the suspension there is 2 modes. You've got road and you've also got dynamic. You simply use the suspension button on the left to switch it between both, and then you hold it down if you want to change the ride height on the right hand side. I've got it on minimum because I'm short, but you can get auto for automatic leveling when you've got a passenger on the back, and you could got max for max height if you're a little bit taller. The bike has a few riding modes. It has road, rain, dynamic, dynamic pro, enduro, and enduro pro, I believe. Pro. The pro is what I like to use most of the time. I'll switch into it now, just because you can adjust all the things on it that you want to adjust, like engine braking, wheelie control, stuff like that. You have to remove some modes. You can only have 4 modes at a time on your quick selector. But yeah, the pro modes are quite good, and it's what I found myself using, because you can just adjust it as you like. As you can imagine, it's super smooth. If you do put the suspension into dynamic mode, it does make quite a big difference, I would say. It definitely changes it from like a, I don't know, a Rolls Royce silky smooth ride to something that's just a little bit firmer, but still very nice. As a touring bike, this would be great, obviously. I think there's a little bit of a stigma with this bike. People saying, oh, you've got to be over 50, you know, you've got to be over 50 to have this bike, and it's not for the young, whatever. That being said, maybe that is the case, where the majority of people that do own this bike are sort of like older guys looking to tour with their mates and all that sort of stuff. But you know, I don't see a problem with that. This bike is insane for that. It's so good. It's quick. It's got 136 horsepower. I think it's got about 146 newton meters of torque or thereabouts. So it's no slouch. The torque on it is so good that I can basically use any gear that I want just to cruise. If I'm going slowly in 5th gear, it doesn't seem to bother it at all. Quick shift is nice and silky when you're at this sort of speeds. The fuel consumption on this bike is pretty good. It's I'm doing about 45 miles per gallon at the moment, which is not too bad. I'm not cruising or touring on it at the moment. I'm just taking it short little distances, so you know, bear that in mind. You can probably get a lot better than that. It has a 30-litre fuel tank, so that's pretty big from what I'm used to anyway. My MT10 absolutely drinks fuel. Ergonomics wise, is this actually a comfortable bike to ride day to day? Oh, absolutely, absolutely. The ergonomics on this bike are beautiful. Got nice wide handlebars, you're sat very upright, very tall, you feel tall. You've got your feet are sort of like maybe in front of my head, so not a chopper, but they're in front. But the bike itself offers so much protection against the elements. I picked this bike up in the rain, and I looked down at my legs thinking they were going to be soaked. I thought any second now I'm going to feel the rain coming into my gooch, but nope. I looked down and I could see the raindrops still hitting my legs when I'd stopped. And I thought, wow, why? And I looked down, and obviously why. Look at the size of the front of it. I mean, you can see how much wind and rain protection this bike offers just because of the sheer size of it. I do like what BMW have done. They're very BMW, you know, they think of it all. But on the right hand side, on my brake lever, there is a little switch which I can switch between having a higher lever and a lower lever. It's just a lever that clicks down and allows you, if you're standing and doing a bit of off-roading or a bit of, you know, touring, to then have a higher, it's easier to hit that rear brake. Talking of the brakes, these brakes are amazing. I haven't felt brakes like this since I was on the M1000R. But I suppose if you've got 260 odd kilo of bike to stop, you can't have shit brakes. The brakes on the front and rear are both Brembo. See, if I use the quick shifter here, look, quite jerky, but as soon as I get to 4th, 5th, nice. So yeah, I know this bike is being replaced by the 1300GS, which, you know, is slightly smaller, more sleek looking. I actually prefer the look of this bike over the GS 1300. I'm assuming that they're going to bring out the GSA of the 1300, and this bike will then be come to the end of its life cycle, which would be a shame. But you know, I think, you know, everything has to progress. The GS has been going a long time, especially in this shape. Dynamic Pro with all my settings. Where the bike's got such a lot of nice even weight, I think with the Boxer engine it makes it so easy to ride really slowly. Like, you see these videos online of people throwing around GS's. Since owning one, I'm like, yeah, I can see that. Because I think it's because of the weight so nicely distributed. It's like having a long piece of wood. It's slower moving, if you get what I mean. So if you've got a short piece of wood and you put it on your finger like a pencil, if you've got a short pencil it's hard to balance. If you've got a long pencil it's pretty easy. The same physics apply with the GS. Makes it quite nice to actually just ride slow and fast. If you've got a good rider on a GS, you could keep up with most stuff. I've seen it in France when I've been out there. Locals on GS's just absolutely hooning it around the mountains, and yeah, they're no slouch. Please let my audio be recording, please. I do plan on doing a tour on this bike, so I'm going to take this to the Alps, I believe, in a couple of months or a few months time. I will have my passenger on the back, who's on the back right now. We're going to have just a bit of a week. Not really sure 100% where we're going yet, but I think maybe Switzerland. I think it'll be a good chance to go to Switzerland, and if you're just cruising and going for the views, then I'm not going to be too worried about the speed. So good opportunity to go, and I think we'll take this because it's so lovely and comfortable, especially in road mode. Am I in road mode? I think I am. Oh no, I'm in dynamics. I'm in the uncomfortable version. If I put it into road, it's so nice. It's so silky. It just absorbs bumps. I can't even feel the bumps. Bike also sounds great. I really love the sound of a Boxer engine. It has that sort of, like, you know, that sort of farty noise that dirt bikes do, or single cylinder bikes do. It does have that. It is a twin, obviously, so it's going to, but oh, it's so nice. The heated grips on this are phenomenal as well. I found with all BMWs that the heated grips are so good. This has obviously got liquid cooled as well. It's not air cooled like the other Boxer engines in the R9T. Makes a little whistling noise like a Triumph. I quite like the whistle. Sounds so good. I love the noise of a GS. I have no idea what this white box is on my dash right now. I don't know what that is. Obviously connected by phone, so I can see the battery on my phone signal, which is quite good. You can customize a few bits on the dash. And these handguards offer quite a lot of protection. I'm quite surprised at how much protection they actually offer. I do feel that when you get to about sort of 90 miles an hour, the bike's kind of vibey, so I wouldn't really want to cruise much below that. I'd probably, you know, this thing's going to top out at around 135, 140 if you're ever going to bother doing that. I don't know why you ever would, but yeah, that's the kind of sort of speed it's capable of. Luggage options. Now, luggage is a difficult one, especially for me, as I've only got this bike for a while, but I want to actually take it away and use it for what its intended use. So I asked a Facebook forum for a bit of advice on luggage and what I could use, bearing in mind that I'm not going to have the bike long, so I don't really want to spend thousands of pounds, as if you go to BMW, these are about £1,000 for luggage options for the aluminium panniers. They're not cheap, and I got pointed in the direction of a brand called Lomu. I think it's Lomu, where they do soft luggage for the pannier racks, and it's universal fit. They don't have to be on a GS, but they use the sort of military style weave where you can sort of, you know, attach it to any sort of metal bar. So I've ordered 2 of those. I also quite like the idea of that, because if you drop a £1,000 aluminium case on the side, you're going to be pretty upset, and if you drop them on a soft luggage bag, it's not even you're not even going to notice. So for me, it's a no-brainer really, and I'm gonna probably skimp out and do a little experiment with the rear top box. I'm going to order a top box from AliExpress. They're plastic. They look like Givey top boxes, but they're just plastic. and obviously probably the build quality isn't quite as nice, but I'm going to risk it anyway because I don't have this bike long. I don't really want to spend a lot of money on luggage options, so I figure as long as it can get my stuff from A to B and it doesn't fall off, that's pretty much the only things I need. So I'm going to have 2 soft luggage coming on the back, and I'm going to have a top box that's cheap. But if you're going to keep one of these bikes, you're going to actually invest, then I of course would recommend that you invest in the aluminium panniers from either BMW or a good brand like Givi or someone like that. But I would suggest, if you are going to take this off-road, bit of green laning, or you're going on a tour which has a risk of you dropping the bike, then soft luggage is going to be the option for you. Unless you don't really care and you kind of like the sort of like smashed up pannier look, because you're a true tourer. No idea where this goes. Goes to somewhere I don't want to be. Ooh. See, that's second gear, and it just handles it like a champ. Like a champ. There's a pub there, I didn't even know that existed. Actually, I did. I used to come here and buy cigarettes when I was about 15, because they had one of those vending machines. I used to drop my mates off outside and they used to run in and buy cigarettes. I didn't actually smoke, but they did. It was the only place around here that did it, where you can get away with it, because we had baby faces. So yes guys, I will be touring on this bike, so there will be some more content coming. Hopefully you subscribe so you'll see it. I do love watching suspension work. Don't know why I don't see that on all bikes, but do like it. But yeah, I can absolutely see why people, as a summary, I can absolutely see why people love GS's. It is worth bearing in mind that this GS is at the end of its life cycle, so you know, there's not going to be many manufacturing defects coming out of BMW from it. Not that there will be anyway, but it's going to be sort of very much refined, whereas the new one is brand new. So if you do buy one of these, you're going to get a pretty sorted bike. It's going to be the best version of the 1250, and it's going to be fully kitted out. The size of it, depends how big you are, what you like. The size isn't the biggest problem for me. Actually, yeah, the size is the biggest problem for me. The only thing on the bike that I would say is a little bit that I'd probably change is just how tall and large it is, and I think they've addressed that on the 1300. So yeah, bear that in mind. But yeah, you can't go wrong if you buy this bike. It is one of the best all-round bikes you can buy on the market, and I'll stick with that statement. But yes guys, I hope this review helps you out if you're looking to buy a GS 1250, or you know, you're just interested in the bike in general. If you did, please feel free to give it a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos. I'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy. Ciao for now.